In this video, we're going to look at status effects in the Game Creator 2 stats module. So we have status effects. It comes with the stats 2. So what is a status effect? It is like poison, for instance. It's an effect that goes on your player. So like if your player gets poisoned, and the poison is one that comes with the examples. So it shows you a status effect of poison. So you've got a type. It can be negative, positive, or neutral. Poison's negative because it subtracts hit points. And there's a max stack, which you can specify how many times it can stack. So that this poison says 5, so you can get poisoned 5 different times at the maximum. Is hidden means it won't show up in the UI. The has duration will allow you to specify a duration. So each poison will last 5 seconds. And we have a UI section here that has the string and the acronym. It works the same way the other UI elements work. So we've got the poison sprite, which is a skull, and the color. So and then we have some instructions that can run. So you can have instructions on start, on end, and while active. So this while active keeps looping as long as you're poisoned. So this one, it subtracts 5 HP, instantiates this FX poison, which is a particle system. If we look at this, and then so it will put some smoke and some sparks every time that runs. So let's see again. So it'll instantiate the particles, and then it waits 0.5 seconds, and it keeps running it again. So every 5 seconds. So let's see how we would use that to poison our character. So it's quite easy. What I'm going to do is create a cube, and we'll call it like a poison area. Just an area that if the player walks over it, I will make this a trigger so that it can be walked. You can walk through it. See what gold is. We'll make it gold, and then we just add a trigger here. So we can on trigger enter. Physics on trigger enter. So if the player enters this trigger, then we can do a stats, and all you have to do is say add status effect, and you can say poison, and that's it. It'll add the poison to the player. That'll last 5 seconds. And let's just see what happens. So now we're losing hit points because we're standing in the poison. It lasted 5 seconds. If we go out and back in, it'll do the same again. The 5 is more like it's more than 5 actually. It's all the way down to 0 hit points now. So you'd have to like play around with that. You might change the number, because that's 5 per every 0.5 seconds. So it's going quite fast. So it's like 10 per second. You're losing 10 HP per second there. So that's pretty fast. It does not show up on the HUD as a status effect. Just you see your HP going down, and there's particles that you see being generated. And So if we want to show it in the HUD, we can do that. The easiest thing to do here is to take a look at the player stats HUD example, and there's the status effects here. So what that is this little vertical line in their example HUD that has a status effect list UI. So this is just a horizontal layout group, and then inside this it will instantiate each of the HUD status effects for each status effect that you have based on this prefab status effect prefab, which looks like this. So you have an icon and you have how many, and then there's a slider based on the duration of how long it's gonna last. So the easiest thing to do here is to copy that. So we'll just copy the status effects, and then we'll go back to our HUD and paste it in here. And then we have the status effects. And we'll do this. So we've got this vertical section here. What we want to do is it's set to the top left. So we can we'll just keep it there. And then we'll see it in the top, right around the top left. 50 maybe, or 100. Minus 100 maybe. Okay, so that'll be so it'll show up here. So that is all we need to do, I believe, and it will automatically show up now. So just let's get poisoned, and then we'll see where it goes. There it is. So we've got one, and it shows up, and when the green goes down, then it goes away. So we can do that. Oh, I just killed myself. Okay, there we go. So it's a little icon like that. So pretty easy. Very easy. So now how would we create one of these ourselves? Like let's say we want a radiation status effect. So let's create one. You can create stats and status effect. So we'll get radiation and put that as negative, and we'll just use a max stack of 1 and with no duration, and it will be permanent until removed if you do that. The UI, we don't really need to set that, but we can. Radiation, and the icon, let's see what poison uses. It uses a sprite, icon sprite. Okay, so, and there's you get some sprites here, but you're probably going to need to find custom icons, like a radiation icon maybe, but we can just use the poison one for now. And that's in the stats classes. Icons, okay. So let's do that. Instead of image, we'll use sprite, just like that. And then we can use the poison one. There it is. And color, I don't think the color does anything. The poison color was green. That will be that bar underneath when it gets instantiated in the HUD. So let's see. All right, so on start on, so let's poison again, radiation. What we want is while active, we can just add stats, change attribute, HP, subtract, and I'll just do 1. So every time it'll go 1, and then we'll add an instruction to wait 1 second. So every second, you'll slowly be ticking down your HP, and this ID you should set this to something unique, or it can generate one if you need to as well. Yep. So that's for the save system. So that's all it is, and then all we have to do then is create another area for radiation, I guess. So this one is your poison zone, and we'll duplicate this and create a radiation zone, I guess. And let's change the color to something else. Prototype we could use. We'll use this light blue. Okay. So then when the player enters this collider, we're going to add radiation to player. So then we can see 2 status effects at the same time. So let's just see if that works. We have our radiation, and there's that red color that we set, and it's not going to go like that. Bar doesn't go down because you're in it. Well, the max stack was 1, so you won't get any more radiation. But it'll just keep going down, and you'll see my HP is slowly going down. So we need to, and then if we do another one, there's the poison. So it goes on the bar in that area next to it. So using that horizontal layout group. So it's fairly easy to do status effects. And I guess just as easily as you have negative ones, you could do positive ones. So you could have like a heal area. So let's do that. We can do a healing status effect. So create game creator stats status effect heal. This one will be a positive one. And let's do a duration of say 10, and this one is healing, heal, I guess. And the icon, let's see what we can find here. We'll use the hearts, and the color, like a light red, I guess, pink. And then all we have to do is, while it's active, we can change the attribute, HP, and add. Let's just add 1 to it, and then we wait 1 second, and then it will execute over and over again while the status effect is active. Okay, as it says in the comment there, when you have it, or when you create these. Okay, so the heal. Okay, so now let's just create a healing area. so that we can heal up. Okay, and then that color will be, we'll use this light red, and that should do it. These are fairly easy to create, so let's go here, get poisoned, and then we can get healing done. Actually, it's not showing up for some reason. Oh, you know why. Because I did not change the, I'm adding poison, so we don't want that. We want the heal. So now it should work. So let's get radiation. And now we can get a heal. So the heal is over time, so that'll counterbalance the radiation. So now we have 3. And if we want, we can change the stacking. So we can just change this to, say, 5, and then it will stack. So we've got 1, go out and back in, you get 2. So it'll go twice as fast. And then 3, 4, 3, that's 3, 4, and 5. So you can get up to 5 stacks of heal going. So that's positive. And then the other thing you can do is, let's say we want to cure radiation. So we want like something that will heal the radiation permanently. So if I'm just gonna use this health pack, and I will clone the health pack. I'll call it Radaway, and we're gonna use this to heal the radiation, and we'll use, I don't know, a green, I guess. And then all we have to do is, instead of this stuff here, we can add stats, remove status effect. So all you have to do is tell it which, so it'll remove 1 radiation. If it's stacked, it'll remove just 1 of those, of the stacked ones. So you can remove multiple, you can just remove 1 at a time, whatever you want. So you just say remove 1, and that's it. So when you're removing status effects with this remove, there's some options here. So you can say the status effect directly, the radiation for instance, or you can say last added or last removed. So you could, the last one, reference to the last status effect removed, and the reference to the last effect added. So if you had like an object that it doesn't know what it's healing, it's just going to remove 1 status effect depending on which one was added or removed. There's another instruction we can use as well. It's called clear status effects type. So you can say the type of positive, negative, or neutral, everything, or nothing. Everything would clear every status effect that you have on you, so sort of a super heal. And then nothing just clears everything. It's like the layers thing. Everything. So it's really everything is like all positive, negative, or neutral. And if you look at your status effects, you have this drop down, positive, negative, or neutral. That's the reason to have that, is so that when you are going to heal, so when you're going to clear everything, you can say, I just want to I just want to clear the negative effects. So then it will clear all negative effects instead of just one effect. So if you wanted to have an item that clears everything that's negative, or everything that's positive, or everything altogether. So, and then neutral, you can basically label these whatever you want. You could even say poison is positive if you wanted to. It doesn't care. It's just the type. It just looks for the matching type. So if I get radiation poisoning, then I can get this over here and heal it, and then the icon goes away. So that's good. And there it is again. Oh, I didn't destroy it, so usually you want those to destroy themselves. So for instance, and then destroy self normally, because those are like pickups. So we get poisoned, and we do the rat away, and we can get healing. So status effects are quite easy to do in the stats module. Super easy. You can use your custom icons fairly easily, just by downloading them, and they have to be sprites. So these have to be sprite 2D and UI in order to use them. 256 by 256. And then if you wanted to, you could update or copy this prefab and use a custom prefab, and you could change like how the UI looks as well. So, and then because it's got the status effect UI, that you can tell it what elements the UI is going to be updating. So this one just has an icon, a color for the progress bar, and the count, which is this text, and image fill is the progress, so that it fills this image or depletes it. But you could also get the name, the acronym, and the description in there as well. So that's it for this video on status effects. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. And if you would like to support the channel, it's not necessary, but if you want to, I do have a Patreon where you can get early access to every video before it drops on YouTube, as well as I have a tier where you can download the project file for this video. So if you wanted to look at my project file. All right, so that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.